Hi folks. Well, that was my propane powered lawnmower version 2. The original one had a sort of interesting story. But anyway, I made this one out of parts left over from the other one, and seems to work all right. It's not running exactly perfect. I don't have the regulator dialed in exactly right, but I'll work on that. I mounted the regulator to a piece of scrap metal that was left over from a buddy of mine. Had a aircraft project. He was cleaning out the hangar, and all that came out of the scrap pile, just like this stainless steel line here came up. I believe it was either a Stearman or a travel arrow. They were working on both, and it just came out of that. Anyway, the reason I went with propane, back up several years ago, I had 3 kids sitting around on the sofa all summer complaining about not having money and playing video games. So my wife suggested they get up off the couch and go mow lawns as a business. Much to my surprise, they were more than enthusiastic about it. So we went to one of the big box stores where they have the smiley face with the price rollbacks, and we got them a lawnmower and a weed whacker and a couple of rakes and a wheelbarrow, and I expected them to stick with it just a couple of days, but actually they made a good bit of money that summer. Kept them busy. Well, the next year they didn't want to do it because they were old enough for legitimate jobs. So the lawnmower, I called it old Graywheel because their very first customer backed over it and bent this part up here. This is not the mower, but it was this assembly here that adjusts the wheel and the wheel. I had one in my stash pile that I'd gotten from my grandfather's barn, just old lawnmower parts and other stuff. So I had them back in business in about 30 minutes. Well, they didn't need old Graywheel anymore, but they'd blown my lawnmower up. So I just took that one. Well, one of my family members gave me a brand new lawnmower. So old Graywheel went under the back deck. We moved to a much larger house with a 2-acre yard, so I got a riding lawnmower, and I just used the one they gave me, the push mower, for trimming around the creek and around the bushes and things. Well, I got the idea to, when they wanted that lawnmower back, to just propane this one. I got it off YouTube, the idea, or propane the old Graywheel, since I tried a carburetor rebuild kit because it sat, well, I thought it was covered, but it was uncovered under the back deck for 2 years. So when I pulled the air cleaner off, it looked like snot running out of it. And this is basically an outgrowth from that project. It ran very well until finally, it started blowing oil out the muffler and sparking under the flywheel, so I knew the magneto was going. Well, about 2 years ago, I was given this lawnmower. Somebody was throwing it out. My son called me up, "Hey, come get this." So I rebuilt the carburetor and cleaned out the fuel tank, and it wouldn't run. The pull cord broke. So you can see this carburetor is a little bit cleaner. Best carburetor cleaner in the world, Pine Sol. The original pine flavored Pine Sol. I soaked it in that, and I drilled this hole. You can see right here, this is where it nicks down into an orifice using Brunelli's principle. I just drilled into that and plumbed it and used some JB weld to hold it, so the air is speeding the fastest right here, and it mixes with the propane right here. The throttle blade I took out, don't need it, so all that's empty. Basically it's just a hollow tube with an orifice in here, and the propane just goes in here. Now the first one I had didn't have a regulator. This came off, I don't even know what. It was in a camper I bought. But I need to adjust it. You can take this off and adjust it with a screw. Oops. You can see down in there. I don't have it exactly right because it's missing a little bit. I think it's running a little rich. It smells rich. The other one didn't have one, so a regulator at all. So when I'd mow with it, when the tank was just a regular old gas bottle here, when the tank was full, this part would start freezing up. And so far in experimenting with this hasn't happened yet. But it would freeze up in here and I'd have to wait a couple of minutes. And as the tank got empty, it was down around here, it would surge. It'd speed up and kind of putter. Zoom, 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 kind of like that. So hopefully that doesn't happen. This will let me use every bit of the tank. Anyway, it's only for trim work here and there, so I'll use a riding lawnmower for the rest of it. But all total, I've got $0 in this entire lawnmower other than the pull cord and the little bottle of propane, because I had this old torch already and the bungee. This is a towel holder. Then it just junk in the junk pile. I just bolted it all together. I had pretty much everything. So anyway, that's my cheap project. I didn't do it for environmental reasons or any of that kind of stuff. The only reason I really did this project was because I needed a mower to trim with, and the whole entire thing was free other than the pull cord. So that's pretty much it. Talk to you later.